Hey guys, welcome to the live. Hey Larry, hey Jean, hey Fisher King, hey Nicole, hi Santa. Hey guys. I bet you did not expect to see me on the porch, but but here we are. So I've suited up. I've got my coveralls on and I've got a space heater. So when we can, I like to enjoy being outside. So, and it's gotten a bit cold, but yeah, so I quite enjoy doing the lives on the porch. So I thought, well, we'll see. I might freeze my butt off, but we'll see. So far it's not too, it's not too bad. So, welcome to 2025, everyone. So, uh Val Nek is showing me the world. He's saying the new paradigm. He's saying welcome to the heart, and he's winking. So yeah, so we have so much to look forward to. He says big changes are coming. He says, but it starts with you. So, and he's showing me everyone on the planet, right? And I can see their bodies, and more light is coming into the body, and the planet is getting lighter. So he's saying, welcome to 5D. it's kind of a joke because so there's an idea, right, that one day we'll all be I don't know, something magical will happen, and then we'll all be in 5D where it's heaven, whatever that means, but it's the point is that everyone, well, it's getting lighter, right? So it's less, what I mean by that is less dense. So, and the perspectives, the old paradigm is quickly fading away as more and more people open their hearts. So the idea that, well, the psychology or the belief system that, it's us against the world, or us versus you, me versus them, right? And that there's this big evil force working against us. We're moving out of that and moving into the heart where we know who we are, and we are the creators. So how can something be against you when you're the one creating your experience and your reality, right? So Alex says the magic is already happening. Yes, exactly. So if you, I mean, yes, and you don't need to look outside of it, outside of yourself to find it, right? So, hey, Francis. Hi, Vanessa. Vanessa says one love. Yes, like the song. I kind of wish I was there right now, actually. So, Tom says, how's Ruffin? So what triggers Megan's ego? So I have one word. It's Ruffin. so so Ruffin has taught me a lot, right? So, and not so much everyone on YouTube knows this because I haven't shared a lot of that on YouTube. But Val Nek says he's not a beast. I changed my mind. Val Nek wants to explain what he means. He means untrainable, or like he says he's trying to find the right word. It's better if I just energetically translate instead of him using his words. But in short, that Ruffin does not listen, so or listen to the writer. So but Ruffin has taught me a lot. So I saw Ruffin a few weeks ago, but I stopped. So I'm not working at the barn that he is boarded at anymore. And I don't go too often. So because I am moving on, and so is Ruffin, but we're not moving on separately. We're actually moving on together, just not physically right here, right now. So, but Ruffin, yeah. So Ruffin, Val Nek says she likes danger. Well, it's not that so for a while, actually it was I don't really know where I'm going with this, but whatever. So actually, well, yeah, it can be about my ego. So because people may have, there was one uh, live that Val Nek and I did together. It was probably over a year ago now, where he said that Ruffin was a beast, and at that time. So I was pretty much going with my ego. I was not listening to my higher levels, which were saying that it's probably not in the best and highest good to continue to ride Ruffin. Okay, and try telling a horse girl that. Okay, that is not gonna go. It's not gonna go over well with any horse girl if you tell her that she is not going, like, it's not in the best and highest good to ride her hard horse, right? So Ruffin is, I mean, to say he's my best friend is an understatement, right? So we're like, I don't know, I can't even think of a good example, but so because so there Ruffin was having, when Val Nek says he's untrainable, so so he was very well trained to be an upper level dressage horse. Okay, and then he, just a little bit about his background for horse people. Some people might not care, but whatever. So I could probably talk about, like, if you want to have like a 3-hour conversation about your horse, call me up. So yeah. Because I always enjoy talking about the horses. But so anyways, he was bred, raised, trained to be an upper level dressage horse. They allegedly, the people who trained him said that he has shivers, and so they gave him away and donated him to the DC Park Police. Okay, and because he wouldn't perform at shows, like he would get too upset and anxious. So, and then he didn't do well at the DC Park Police because, of course, what dressage horse would make a good police horse? I don't know, but definitely not Ruffin, at least. And so then my aunt acquired him for free. So, and when you get a horse for free, there, especially one that's trained like Ruffin, there's always a catch, right? So my aunt fell off of Ruffin because his spooks are huge, hands down. And I've ridden a lot of horses. Ruffin has the biggest spooks I've ever sat. So but of course, my aunt fell off, broke her back, and that's when I moved back to Northern Virginia, and I got to ride Ruffin a lot. And so he is well trained, but he he just spooks, and then he spins, and then he bolts, and you're out. I mean, you're going out of the arena. So I mean, there's many, like, so I laugh because I'm sure, and my entourage and my higher levels are probably looking at me like, what are you doing? But there's many times where Ruffin just took off with me on the back of him, and I would you'd have to do an emergency stop, stand up in your saddle, and actually reach to his face and turn his face to get him to stop. And then he'd realize, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What happened? So, and so, long story short, we looked into more of his issues of what could be going on, because then he really started to become neurologic, and his was not keeping his balance, and it's very dangerous to ride a horse like that. Long story short, we found that he had a really bad neck injury from years ago, which is probably why they gave him away. So at that point, then I decided to stop riding him, and Ruffin and I decided together. So, and he's still being ridden and being trained, but it's not in alignment with my integrity to continue to ride him, and then to see a lot of horse trainers, they're not doing anything wrong, like they really truly care about the horse, but they just have a different level of understanding. So me and Ruffin have a different plan, and we'll always be together, but I haven't been I don't go there every day anymore. So Cowgirl Patriot says, all of us horse girls that are listening are extremely interested. Yes, and to be so, and that's actually so, and I made a video once of Val Nek says she likes adventure. um he is reminding me, so at the heart of it we all do, right? So that's actually the way of the heart, is coming out of the mind and doing the same thing over and over again. And then actually, then when you come into actually focus your consciousness not in the mind but down into the center of the heart, that's where your energy truly resides. It's, well, it's creation, right? And so it's creating something new, really looking at the world through the eyes of the child, right? So, but I had some lessons to learn on Ruffin, and even when I fell off of him that one time, I made a video about it. It's been 2 years now. I didn't stop riding him. Like, I kept riding him after that. So my friend was, just a few more minutes for everyone, everyone listening. So we'll get to more of this stuff, but I've got to tell my horse story. So, my friend, the horse trainer that I worked for, was training this beautiful 18 hands horse, right? And me and Ruffin and I, for some reason, were the babysitters on that ride. I don't know why, because even looking back, I'm like, why would I do that? But so we went out on a hack down further away from the barn, and my friend is Sal. She was riding Sal, just starts bronking, bucking, rearing, everything. And Ruffin spooks. He, of course, bolts, but I get him back. I'm like, okay, we're good, right? Me and Ruffin. I should have jumped off. Hindsight, I should have just jumped off right then, but I didn't, So, and out of the corner of my eye, my friend gets bucked off behind me. I see Sal running, galloping down the pavement, down the road, and Ruffin sees him, and boom. Like, I didn't even have time to think. Seconds. We're running, we're galloping. I mean, this is like, we're going like 60 miles an hour, at least. It's not like you're just trotting or even like a controlled, cross country gallop. We're like gone, gone with the wind. And I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, so he has 4 shoes on. We're running in the middle. It was January 2 years ago, and we're galloping right down the road on pavement. And I'm thinking, if I fall on the pavement, I'm gonna break tons of bones. Or if I try to turn him, he's gonna flip on top of me, and then I'm gonna die. So, so anyways, I found a soft landing. I waited till he went over a patch of grass, and then I just let go. It was like jumping out of a moving car. And even after that, I still, silly me, still continued to ride him. But we all have our paths. So, and I hit the ground so hard my helmet cracked in half. Like, I had to get a new helmet, and I had a concussion and other stuff, but I didn't break any bones. I just, yeah. Anyways, so that was a good time. So Francis says, I feel like I'm watching a movie with this story. Yeah, I have not. I take the cake from none of my friends have. I mean, even getting bucked off, it's like, you'll just fall probably like right next to where you're riding. But that was an adventure for sure. So, so anyways, Lenny says, my heart is at least half horse. Yes. Ruffin is a fitting name. Maybe change his name. They're usually named, it depends, like, I think it depends on the discipline, but they're usually named after their sire, like it starts with their first letter. So Ruffin's sire's name is Rosario, so that's why his name is Ruffin, and he's a chestnut, which Ruffin, I think, means like reddish color, so I actually love Ruffin's name. So anyways, Cowgirl says, is this a good day to dive in there? Well, I mean, the ground was so hard too. like it was like ice. And then actually the best part of that story is I'm laying on the ground, like kind of not disoriented, but I had so much adrenaline going through, and my friend is grazing her horse across the way. And I was like, hey, like, Pat, you know, come help me. She's like, oh yeah, Megan, the horses went that way. And I'm like, yeah, but there was nobody on them. So, you know, so, so, um, anyways, so fun. But anyways, so with that being said, you know, I fell off in my ego, a little bit of my ego, bit by bit, died with it. But, you know, all's well that ends well. So anywho, Val Nek says we have a message. He's talking about humanity, and he's showing the door close and then several open. So it's a message for me too. When one door closes, more open. Yes. So, and what do you know? And then he's showing horses coming through the door. So, yeah. So, so even more horses to come. So, let me get to some of the questions here on Patreon. So Tony asked, she says, I guess one of the other events was the car blowing up in front of Trump Tower. I can't wait for the 1,000 years of peace to start. Just 1,000 years? So, so, yeah, so there's been like this idea that, you know, the old paradigm ends and then we open the door and there's 1,000 years of peace. So it's actually even something better than that, because 1,000 years is still, well, it's actually not that long. I mean, when you think about how long humans have been on the planet, 1,000 years is like nothing, right? So, and literally the thing is, once you transcend something, you're done with it forever. So it literally, the paradigm literally dissolves, okay, and then we enter the new one. So it's actually even more satisfying or more gratifying than that. But let's ask Val Nek too. So is there a time limit on humanity's ascension? He says, I've said this before, I repeat again, time is not real. He's underlining it. He's showing different planets, and he's showing planet Earth, and he's also showing different planets in this galaxy, and each being on the planet perceives time differently depending where they're at. He says it happens in the physical. It is an illusion. Time is not real. So he says there is no limit. He's bringing my attention to planet Earth. He's showing me the United States, and he's showing me the light growing, and then he's showing me other countries and the light growing. He says they go at their own pace. It is your choice. He's saying Megan does it individually. You can too. She does not wait. Yeah, that's true. So I'm not sitting around waiting for, I don't know, certain events to happen for peace to come into my life. Nah. So I pretty much decided like 2-3 years ago, okay, I'm going to wake up all the way. So I can't control anything that's going on around me, including Ruffin. So instead of waiting for stuff to change outside of me, I'm going to change what I can. I'm going to change my own perception. And I'm going to look within. And then the more that you do that, so external things like Ruffin will trigger the ego, right? But then, and that's wonderful. It's actually you asking your ego to be triggered. And then you look within, okay, ego, why does this bother me? What's going on here? Or really, why does it bother you, ego? What's going on here? And where did my perspective, or where did I get stuck in a perception that does not serve me? Okay. And then the more you release those perceptions, your awareness grows, you literally awaken, you become more conscious, and more light comes into your light comes in. Okay. And you're completely, then you start more and more become completely in alignment with your higher levels. And then it does not matter if there's 1,000 years of peace, if there's 1 second of peace. See, that's all outside of you. And then, and it's really quite frankly, because you transcended it, it's not really showing up in your reality. Maybe on the news, sure, if you go out and want to see what other people are going through, like I can go on Twitter, on X, or on, wherever, and see what other people are going through. But that doesn't mean that I'm experiencing it myself. I actually am holding the light so that they can see a different way. Does that make sense? That's the whole reason why I make these videos in the first place. So it actually starts individually. So Val Nek says it's best not to forget. We want to remind you. He's showing me the supervisor, and they're all together going like this. He says, "We are watching you. We are always here, waiting for you to connect through the heart. Nobody is alone." He says it's worth repeating. There's a perception that we're evolving out of, okay? And this is ancient, and we've brought it up before, but it is worth repeating, that there is one person that has a divine connection, and by the followers or the people around them believe that by interacting with that person, or being friends, or watching that person, or worshiping, really what it is, that person, that they can achieve a divine connection through that idol or through that figure. Whether it's a social media person, whether it's a religious figure, whether it's a priest or a contactee or whoever. I like to laugh at that word, but it's honestly, how does that really make sense? So how is the body even breathing if there's not some light in it as well? So for all the other people. So why would one person be the connection for everyone else? Do you understand? So we're all a unique aspect of source. We're all a divine creator. And so that's really what humanity is going away with. I can see the supervisor, and he's showing me, it's hard to put into words, but he's showing me movie rolls, okay? Like the tape you would see, I don't know, if you would look at a movie roll. So movie roll, movie roll, movie roll. And I can see different time periods, okay? He says different characters, same story. So, and he's showing me Netflix. So, so if you actually watch, it's interesting. So the more your awareness grows. Have you ever noticed that on Netflix or in television, basically any movie, it's basically the same story over and over and over again? So like the setting might be in space, the setting might be actually back in the 1800s or wherever, but it's the same paradigm, it's the same level of consciousness. So there's a villain, there's a hero, and then there's the victims, right? And you're only viewing it from a very limited perspective, okay? If you actually look, there's a category in movies that's called the drama, the drama category, and the Oscars have the best drama, okay? It becomes, and it looks less like a drama when you zoom out and you realize that their higher levels are all orchestrating the experience. And so therefore, when you take accountability for yourself, there's nobody that needs to or can save you because you're the one choosing it. You also can't be a victim because it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And there's no villain working against you because they're also working for you. So how much cooler would that be if we started to see things from that perspective? I can see the supervisor again. Val Nek is saying they want to know how to do this. So he's showing me the brain, okay? And he's showing me like the front of the brain is lit up and then the back of the brain is in the dark. He's showing me the sun, he's showing me light shining. He's showing more and more people awakening and opening their hearts. The planet gets lighter, okay, and they're bringing more light into the body, and all this stuff from the subconscious starts to come up, okay. So, and he says, he's saying the Great Awakening. He's saying, he's showing me the United States. He's saying it will be dramatic, and he's going like this. The reason for that is, though, is because everything from the subconscious has to come up so that we become conscious of it, right? So it will look, actually, he's saying the next 4 years, and he's showing me the drama, like the faces. Have you ever seen those? He's saying lots of drama. And then, but he's showing them like clinking champagne glasses and celebrating. He's giving me an energetic feeling, like it's very exciting, right? So really, drama only comes from the ego, and we want our egos to be triggered. We want them to come to the surface so they can dissolve and die, right? Because we don't just want 1,000 years of peace. We want, well, we want the real thing, right? So we want actually to bring heaven to earth. So, he says, we are Terran support. We are here to help. He says, Megan loves to assist. So do I. There are many others. He's showing me people reaching out their hands. And like, for every one person that reaches out their hands, there's always 10, 20 more reaching back to lift them up, to help them up. So, anyways, so let me get a drink and then let me answer. See, I'm not even realizing it's cold out. I have a space heater on, so it's nice. Someone wrote in the comments, is the message here not to trust? No, the message is to trust yourself. So there's no reason to Val Nek is showing me an image. This is, I have spoken about this before. So if someone triggers me, I'll tell you what I do. So I want to look from my higher levels what is really going on, okay, with that person, so that I can understand. So, and I remember I was like, oh, I should talk about this on YouTube or wherever. It was like a week ago. I don't even remember what happened at this point. But to be honest, I just remember, like, I was like, oh, I should mention this. Anyways, I don't know. My ego is triggered. I was like, okay, let me look from my higher levels at what is going on with this individual, their level of consciousness. Okay. And what I saw was like an 18-month-old, like a baby. Okay. Of course, this person was in an adult body. Okay. But their level of consciousness was like 1.5 years old. So there's a part of them, or a piece, really a part of the ego that stopped developing at that age. And that's the perspective that they're coming from. And anyone who's raised children or been around kids, 18 months old, they don't understand what you're going through, right? So, and why should they? It is really all about them and their survival instincts and what they need, right? So I said to myself, okay, ego, how can we get upset at an 18-month-old, right? So, and so this is the thing. So what I'm seeing, or the image that he's showing me, okay, is all of the people on planet Earth. What I'm seeing, though, they might be in adult bodies, but many, many, many are still children in their level, their way of thinking, right? So and it's so little children, they want someone to trust. They want mom or dad or someone that's going to take care of them, right? And he's showing me the little children, and they're in adult bodies, okay? We're not actually talking about the little children in physical bodies, but he's showing me the light all around them. Okay, so and it's time for those children. So the universe is there to assist them into a higher level of consciousness, really assisting them in growing up so that they can be all that they are. So, and it's not about not trusting anyone. So, not trusting mom or dad. It's literally actually about trusting yourself. And even I don't even truthfully like the phrase, because really when you know who you are, it's not even like you are trusting yourself. You just are who you are. So you're going about your life with your higher levels, and what could be more fun than that? So it's not about not trusting anyone. It's just literally and now he's showing me, so they're higher levels, okay, these little children, so they don't know who they are, right? So they, and oh, there's a cardinal. um so pretty. So I lost my train of thought. I wonder what it's like to watch one of my videos and it's like, who is this girl? But anyways, so, but I'm seeing the children, right? And so they have their higher levels. They just don't know it yet. Okay. They have their higher levels. They just don't know who they are. So everyone's entourage, everyone's higher levels are giving them those quiet nudges to wake up, right? And it's just about listening to those nudges, right? So the whole time I'm riding Ruffin, fighting for my life, basically, my higher levels and my entourage are trying to assist me. Hey, why are you doing what you're doing? And let's actually connect with Ruffin from the heart and see what's going on here, right? So, and then when I finally did that, I was like, okay. And then everything really fell into place with that. So, um, uh, yeah, so not even a thousand years of peace, much more than that. And the thing is, so it's also about, I'm just tuning into Val Nek, so I want to go first and use my words, but it's also about coming from a place of non-judgment. So the car bomber or the people who do terrorist attacks, or whatever, someone who is wreaking havoc, what they're actually doing is they're trying to find home outside of themselves, okay, in a very, well, in a way that most of us have transcended, okay, but still that's their path, okay. So, and it's their level of consciousness, right? And most, it's an interesting thing because people, and I've discussed it before, but we'll mention it, it's worth mentioning again. People who hurt other people, okay, people who bomb, people who shoot, whatever, they actually, well, wait, so they actually believe that they are assisting, they're saving the planet, basically. So what happened in World War II with Germany, I won't say it because it's YouTube, okay, though, that group of people believe that they were saving the planet, okay, from another race. So, and how you evolve out of that is you actually come out of judgment. So how do I say this? I'm actually losing my train of thought. Let me let me get a drink. So the thing is, one of the big things that is not holding humanity back, but humanity is holding on to, is the savior complex. So needing to save others and then also wanting someone to save you. But the thing is, we're all choosing our experience. So if another creator, why would another creator save you when they see you for who you truly are, which is someone who is choosing an experience in order to transcend it? And how would they know the path home back to your heart better than you do? Do you understand? That's why the aliens won't come down and all of that. And then what happens is, you know that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions? So so it's because people, what they do, and it's a subconscious thing, okay, but they actually project their, how do I say this, the places where they have yet to bring light to onto other people, and then they think by saving or assisting other people, then they're going to get their light back. It's so they're saving others, and then also it will save them. It's a really interesting thing. Francis says, I hate when I lose my train of thought too. Yeah, where'd it go? Val Nek says, we have a message. He's showing me Donald Trump. He's showing me a train. He's saying, I want to repeat. He cannot do it alone. He's showing me planet Earth. He's showing me different leaders, okay, from different countries shaking Trump's hand, okay. He says, he's pointing to his heart. He's saying, he's trying to find the right words for it. He's showing me different levels, okay, different levels of government. So, and it's really what it is it's different levels of consciousness. So the Roman times, okay, Egyptian times, and then he's showing me the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. He's saying the new paradigm. He's saying that people have a role, the most important role. He's saying we are here to help. He cannot do it alone. Very important. He's showing me the Patriot movement. He's saying we watch them too, and he's winking. He's saying it's time to go within. He's showing me different, like, he's showing me social media, okay, specifically of the Patriot movement, and he's showing me people pointing the finger at each other. He's saying it's not the Democrats' fault. He's saying Megan and I have discussed this before. I encourage her to share. So one of the things, so this is what I was thinking about. Thank you for reminding me. I wanted to bring up today is that, remember remember when Biden was elected, right? So for many people, like, everyone was afraid, right? So that basically our country was going to be taken over. Sorry for the wind. Hopefully we don't blow away. But, everyone was really, really, really concerned and really, really afraid, okay? And now we've made it out of that, right? So those 4 years are over, and we're, so that door has closed for many, right? But for others, so they're experiencing the same feelings that we experienced 4 years ago. So the Democrats, or many people on planet Earth who've been programmed to believe that Trump is evil or the devil or whatever. So the thing is, why not have compassion for those people? Because they're literally, the reason that those people follow those kinds of people is because it matches their level of consciousness. It literally makes sense to them. Okay, so because they're repeating the same actions, it's the same level of consciousness that's been on planet Earth for years and years and years and years. So when it shows up, it's of course an opportunity for their higher levels to say, for them to tune in to say, hey, this is not the way. But for many people, they're coming straight from the mind and the subconscious, and so they buy right into it, right? So it's not that there's so many beautiful hearts, okay? It's just that they can't express it, or the ego really, well, they can express it, but really the ego is in the way, right? So, and they cling on to it when even more so in times like this when it seems like the whole world is basically falling apart, right? So why not have compassion for those people instead of throwing something in their face and really laughing and saying, haha, we were right, or whatever. So you have also had those experiences too. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the wisdom to make a different choice, or you wouldn't have transcended that level. You've transcended that level of consciousness. So good for you. So why, you were there once too, is what I'm trying to say. So, Ricky Lee says, I listened to the message and they are all on YouTube. I don't know what the chat is talking about, but so anyways, and the thing is too, in the Patriot movement, so this is about taking accountability for ourselves, okay, individually, all right? And when we're blaming others, we're still not taking accountability for ourselves, because we're saying, if you were different, my life would be X, Y, or Z, or so much better, or you did this to me, or whatever. So we're not looking within. We're just continuing to do the same thing over and over again, right? So anywho, that's my two cents on that. He's showing me fireworks. He's saying the best is yet to come. So Tom says, how does Val Nek feel about some Terrans' practice of sport hunting and trophy hunting? So I guess I'll reword the question. Like, would you do that, or is that something that you would enjoy doing? He says, I do not enjoy it. I do not like to kill. He says, I love animals. Yeah, I mean, so so I actually grew up, so my dad and my brother are big game hunters, okay? So I grew up in a house, like my dad shot a brown bear and made it into a rug. And so every day, like when I would come down the stairs, there would be a big brown bear looking at me in the face, and it had this huge head too, and then the rest of it was a rug. And like deer heads everywhere, elk everywhere, and like my mom tried to decorate the house as women do, like as nice as possible, but then my dad would hang his deer heads and elk and everything all over the house. So and my brother too, very big into bird hunting. So but for myself, so I love animals, so I don't enjoy killing them. I feel like that makes sense, Of course, so for food, like if you really needed some protein, right? So everyone's diet, especially on planet Earth, is so diverse, right? So some people need more protein than others depending on what the body is doing, okay? So yeah, when you need the protein, okay? So animals are there, but for me, I just don't enjoy it. We had to slaughter, well, we didn't have to, it wasn't my choice, but I assisted someone kind of in slaughtering some chickens, and I just really didn't, I don't know, I really love the chickens, so I didn't I don't enjoy it. So I mean, that's just, if that's just for humanity. So to decide, for each individual, is this something you enjoy, and if you enjoy it, okay, great. But if you don't enjoy it, then why do it? So, and there's a difference between what you enjoy as yourself and in yourself and through yourself, and what the ego enjoys or what the ego wants. So those are two different things, okay? So we come out of the ego, okay, and come back to the heart so that we can really find out who we are and what we really enjoy. So I'm feeling the cold now. The space heater isn't quite cutting it, sad to say. So I'm just tuning into Nek wants to share. So, let's see. Anne says, just got back from 3 weeks in Florida, helping my daughter with her second newborn, bonded with my 2-year-old granddaughter. So sad to leave, love them all. Any chance they're moving back to our hometown sometime? Blessed 2025 to you. Well, you know what's beautiful coming back to the heart, and I've said this before, is that so you are actually a non-physical being, right? So being in the same, that's nice, right? And it's fun and enjoyable when the bodies are in the same location, but you're not the body. So we can always connect with others through the heart. So even me and Ruffin, I'm supporting him energetically, I'm tuning in, I'm connecting, but I'm not physically there, or my body's not physically there. And truth be told, it doesn't really matter because it's just my body, right? So there's an opportunity and to take a look at this, right? And so you know, and it's a very non-threatening ego trigger, shall we say, right? So I'm actually trying not to shake because now I've gotten a bit cold. So it's an opportunity for you and to open up, right? And the thing is with psychic readings, so there's so many variables with that question, right? So of course it depends on your daughter, it depends on her children, it also probably depends on her partner as well, what's in the best and highest good for them. And at any moment, so you can go to a psychic, the psychic can read the Akashic records and give you a possibility of what could happen, right? So but the thing is you're the one driving the ship. So if you make a different decision, then that door closes or something else happens, right? So it's really just it's really just a possibility. And the thing is your higher levels, the universe is always trying to deliver to you the life of your dreams, okay? But what's showing up in your reality, what's triggering the ego, whether or not you transcend it is your choice. And if you choose to transcend the ego, then so many doors open for so much more love to come in because you're opening your heart. And then, of course, the love comes back to you, right? So many go to psychics, but we're not asking the question, why is this happening? Okay, we're not getting to the root of the issue to transcend it so that we can actually manifest that dream partner or the dream house or whatever it is, right? So this is showing up for you, right? And it's about letting go of attachment. So as soon as you let go of attachment to anything, what actually happens is it gets closer. Because when we attach ourselves to something, ironically, where we want to keep it close to us, but ironically, we're actually pushing it away energetically, right? So what if we said, so, and there is, so on Patreon and in private sessions, we actually get to what's going on in the subconscious and which aspect of you is coming up here, right? But just for well, the purposes of this live, because I'm not speaking to you directly but in front of others. So what if we just say, let it be what it is, right? Because the grandchildren are very young and we've had a wonderful time, of course, sharing in their presence, and there's many more years of watching them grow up to enjoy them, right? And a lot of times, especially children, their ego hasn't really come in very strong. They're very open energetically, so we feel the love that they are and we're drawn to it. But the thing is, what's great here is the love that they are is also the love within you. So they're actually encouraging you, these two kids, to actually wake up. Okay, so that feeling that you get when you're around them, what is actually happening is their light is the light within you is feeling the love within them, and you're opening up, you're actually feeling your own presence, okay, and sharing the love with them. So it's interesting when I look at it from an overview, it's your own presence that you're in a way addicted to, not them. Does that make sense? So, and even little kids, so, and we tend to externalize things outside of us, or the belief that love is outside of us. So when a child is playing with a toy, right? So they have a Barbie doll or a teddy bear, and they're having so much fun, right? And that stuffed animals is a better example of this, but they give the teddy bear a name, it has a personality, whatever. And what's happening when they're playing with the toy is an inanimate object, right? There's no light in it, it's just a piece of plastic or, you know, cotton or whatever. What is actually happening is they're feeling the love that they are, and they're imagining it being in this toy that's outside of them, okay? Because they're little children. It's their level of consciousness. The brain actually can't understand who they are yet. So they associate the toy with the love that they are. And that's why they you know, if you take their toy away, then they get really upset. So and this is when Val Nek, you know, showed all of those little children, this is what we're all realizing. We're coming back to the heart and realizing that the love that we thought was outside of us since we were kids is actually inside. So happy 2025, woohoo. So of course I find the new year kind of funny. Like, I never really celebrated the new year, but because it's, to be honest, it's just a different calendar day, but it's a nice, I mean, why not celebrate? So it's a nice excuse. Well, we don't even need an excuse to celebrate. We can celebrate every day, right? So Val Nek says we are here to help. He says, I repeat again, tear and support. He's showing me darkness, like dark clouds over everyone. So, and he's saying mass consciousness. He's saying, please discuss. So he's showing me people, right? And then there's clouds of darkness over everyone. He's saying it is density, human consciousness. Basically, so for so long, so I'll explain this. I don't know how to put it into words. It's, well, I'll plant the seeds. So, but basically what it is, okay, when he says mass consciousness, it's really a set of belief systems. It's really stuff that humanity, perceptions that humanity has put energy into, that has put energy into, and collectively, collectively made true for ourselves. So, and the only way to come out of it is to look within. So, you know, basically different society ideals. So how a woman should act, how men should act, what the color of your skin should look like, you know, all of those different kinds of things. The American dream, okay, all of that. He's saying the love is not outside of you. That's basically what, you know, so basically humans have put in mass consciousness. It's basically the idea that love is outside of you. Okay, so and the only way to dissolve it is to look within. And then he's showing me those clouds dissolving and light bulbs going off in people's heads, and then the doors open, and he's saying the new paradigm. He's saying welcome to the future. Anywho, so I may Linda says, thanks Megan, Val Nek, Commander, you teach us to look at things in a different perspective. Ricky Lee says, we need to see the new earth as we want it to be. Yes, but even wanting something, so the earth is automatically responding to energy. So to our energy, the energy of the animals, really the energy of source, right? So if you take away the bodies, you take away even the plants, okay, behind the plants is light, okay? Plants are living too. Animals, if you take away the bodies, behind everything is light. So, and collectively, we've decided to go to shift our to change, right, to come back to the heart. So the planet is already responding to that. It's going to make it and recreate itself in response to that light, just as our bodies are always making and recreating themselves in response to our light. And the thing is, it's without attachment. So not we don't want to project how we want the earth to be externally to us. We actually want to look inward and bring our light into the body, and then it's then stuff external to us responds to us, right? So when we want something too, it's we're trying to control it, we're trying to change it, right? So to note. So I may I don't know, I may sign off early because I'm a bit cold. So Val Nek says the best is yet to come. He says we are in awe. He says the best of the best. Congratulations to the Terrans. We love you all. He says, I salute you. And he's saying, he's bowing his head. He's saying, from my heart to yours. So, and he doesn't, so the message is that nobody is alone. So even if you're sitting in your house and feeling like there's no one around you, there's actually, the entire universe is light. So how could that be? You know, so so nobody is ever alone. And yeah, happy 2025. I love you guys. Be back with more videos.